Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Cockings.
He is Captain Foley.
Yes, there we go.
I won that situation. You threw me it. No, you threw me it. I did it.
Yeah, well, we're here to talk about a no-win scenario. The no-win scenario. The namesake of the no-win scenario, the Kobayashi Maru, which is a freighter. So we're going to talk about that from the episode of Prodigy entitled Kobayashi, of course.
Ain't rocket science to work out which one it's from. Now, this was a weird one because the situation is the important thing, right? Which they did very, very well. And the episode is very, 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 very good. Do watch it. We hear, and we'll talk about it later, we heard the dialogue from Subject 2, Kobayashi Maru. Great. Hoping we'd see it. We saw the side view, and here's obviously the first shot. But for one shot, we get a distance version of the ship. And you can see how low resolution this is, because boy, I had to AI enhance, boy, I had to zoom in. Why no close-ups, team? Come on! That's my reaction to that, Stuart.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing the episode, I almost hoped or wished that they would have, when they did the barrel roll around the Kobayashi Maru and have it like spin on screen or something, like get behind it, swing behind it, or
see
lots
exterior.
of potential.
I know it wouldn't make as much sense, but I want to see the exterior so bad.
I mean, the Kobayashi Maru has been around for a long time, obviously, but the designs, we haven't really seen it. It's always like, Star Trek 2. You don't really see the ship ever. But over the years, there's been Johnny's ones, there's been, the Kelvin ones, there's, one in STO by Thomas Moroni. And so we kind of get a feel for what it looks like, and it kind of looks similar in all cases. But to see an actual on-screen canonized one was cool.
That is true. I hadn't considered that. Yeah, I guess this blurry mess is now the Canon one.
Yes.
So yeah, there was one design for a book yonks ago that looks nothing like anything in particular. I mean, the Maru itself is a confusing concept. It's a freighter, it's a carrier, it can look like anything. It could be 100 years old, it could be 50 years old, it could be an X-era ship. And, not even that, but if the Kobayashi Maru is also a simulation from the TOS era, like before TMP or even younger, the ship could still either be referencing an original NX era ship or an alien ship. It really is whatever you want in a sense. But yes, for 09, Star Trek 09, they do the Kobayashi Maru, and you see the Kobayashi Maru in it. Outside the window, relatively nice looking design that Johnny did sketch, we'll see that in a minute. And then you only really got a clear sense when Egos released their model, which was much less well textured and looked a bit naff. But that's okay. And then Thomas is a much better version for Star Trek Online.
Yeah, Thomas's is cool.
That's very cool. Now this side view looks like Thomas's one, and we'll get it. We did a comparison of that on live. What do you think of how the main view looks then? What do you take from that?
Yeah, it feels very TOS. You can just the font, the Bizarre Collectors. The side view though feels very Kelvin-like ish. But yeah, it's definitely a TOS vibe to it from the one that's on screen. And I have no problem with that. I love TOS era. And I mean, it would make sense for an older freighter to maybe be that.
Even in TMP, it won't be a TMP era, like fresh scratchable, because those ships are new. That refit style is new. It won't look like that anyway. Yeah, I was quite surprised by the orange. Like, it was really nice to see glowing tube beside. Like, that's an nacelle, Stuart. We haven't had those for a long time. Wow. Goodness. But here is then the comparison of the four Marus. On the top left is the one we see. On the top right is the J.J. Abrams Kelvin timeline. On the bottom right was the original sketch of the Kelvin timeline one by John Eaves. And obviously, he was in theory pitching it as a... if the Kelvin was a timeline split, the Kobayashi Maru was before that, which means it should be a fully TOS design. There's no disputing that logic. Obviously, they did not do that in the movie. They went for a fully Kelvin design despite not making sense. So John's obviously much more TOS look. And then you got the bottom left is the TMP design based on the John Eaves one, but then TMP-ified and tweaked a bit as well. So here's the four, Stuart. A nice little collage.
And I love them all, actually. I even love the Kelvin one. I do have that Eagle Moss model, and it's an impressive looking little ship. John Eaves, of course, the difference there is the deflector is on the lower part, which a lot of the producers would be like, well, people will get it confused with the Enterprise. So yeah, let's slide it up into the middle of the saucer. But anyway, yeah, I love all these designs equally, really. Which do you prefer out of these four, honestly, if you had to pick one?
So we did do an episode with John about his Kobayashi Maru concept, which I've not looked at since then. So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I think John's is the nicest because it has... Like, I like the deflector being there. It gives a very NX refit vibe, as if it's from that era, how it's connected. I mean, it certainly has an NX vibe, because it wouldn't make sense. It was an iteration from that. You wouldn't, refitted off that, but with newer nacelles, because that's an easy thing to jump the speed of a freighter. You want off Amazon Prime, so let's give it better engines. That's a thing. The TMP one's fantastic. It almost looks almost too faithful to the era. Like, comparing them, having the pods where they are makes a lot more logistical sense for the style of the Federation ships. It blends in well, but then having them the way John's got them feels way more industrial and like it's a freighter. So Thomas is almost too sleek in the abstract of...
Thomas feels almost more like a military transport for transporting troops or something, as opposed to a freighter.
Or just just put torpedoes in those pods and transport torpedoes.
Torpedo gunboat, yeah.
Well, no, I just mean just to physically transport the torpedoes.
Oh no, I want to go put photon torpedo ports on the side. Now we'll shut up now. Continue.
Because the one from Prodigy isn't John's. It's not got the same saucer, non-deflector. It isn't John's. Based on the side view, it looks more like Thomas's saucer. Based on the side view, and it certainly isn't the JJ one. So I think it's a unique one. Now, there was a fan render of John's, which has the exact same bottom pods with those crisscross. It's almost verbatim, and clearly that's not in John's idea or any of the others. So I'm guessing that the artist liked that with a fan version, and kind of did his own version or her own version of this that isn't any of them, and is also linked to that fan one, which is based on John's one, just its own take as well. So it's really an interesting amalgam.
I was going to say, it looks familiar. It looks like something I had seen before online. But now, interestingly enough, as we were talking there, I thought, take away those pods on the one we see in Prodigy, and take away the NX, or the NCC, sorry, on the hull, and tell me that doesn't look like a Romulan ship with the fin back from that center module. But anyway.
A bit more.
Yeah. A little off topic there, but... No, I love all these designs. I really do. If I had to pick one, I think you're right. I think I'd probably go with John Eve's original concept. I do love Thomas's, though. It does fit in that refit era fleet.
But as being a really old freighter, it's too nice. It's a perfect M-class freighter TMP new build. Boom.
Let's give Thomas credit. He's only got one phaser ball turret on the well.
Oh wow, yeah.
One bank of two, so it's not heavily armed like it could be. So. Yeah, for just being a freighter.
But that wasn't all we got. The next view is, because we all know it looked similar, but what a lovely thing to see. They didn't have to do this, although I think any of us would have done it. But they did it. I mean, this was brought joy to this Trekkie's heart. They used the graphic from Star Trek 2 in Prodigy.
Yep. Slightly updated for TNG as far as the bubble or the navigational thing around the ship. But other than that, I mean, all of the information on screen is the same, which was a nice touch, which I noticed right away when I saw the episode. I didn't need a comparison.
Oh yeah.
And there's no sense changing it really for the simulation. It is a classic simulation, a classic training program, so they would keep it the same, I would think. And
in fact, I would think that because it is such a basic high-end training thing, that they would want to keep it the same, because then it tests you the same. The more you change it, the more you tweak it, the more you whatever it, the less it's a valid test, in theory, because it's meant to be what it is. And the graphics, yeah, I mean, beautiful updating. It's more modern, but it is exactly what it is. That's the epitome of a visual update. It is the same, yeah, different. Also, I didn't capture the frame of the line, because it wasn't necessarily a line. The next view, though, is that sort of next part. And again, like I said, it is not the same, but it is the same.
Crew 81, passengers 300, yet there's only, 87 survivors or 85 on board in the episode. Small discrepancy, but not a big deal.
And I prefer the TNG font. I mean, look at Fuel Carrier, how, curved the letters are. It's like, that's the most official font you're going to use. You know what I mean? It's very unofficial looking. I mean, because it's funny, because on the left, it's all very official. The right looks... That's weird. But obviously, the TNG was, crisp. No, what a beautiful modernization. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job updating an old classic, guys.
So yeah, that was a look at the Kobayashi we know you guys want to see, and we think we found a few more things. Hopefully they will release at some point some shots of the ship closer with any detail, because, you know, I get the sense they may have just sketched it as a 2D anim. That was the kind of sense I got, so there probably isn't going to be too much more to it. But that's okay. Maybe we'll see it again. And maybe a fan will have to... Oh, God, that's me, isn't it? Maybe a fan's going to have to do it and then get it built and see it. Oh, God.
Get on that, man.
Thank you. Yep, great. Perfect.
Yeah, so guys, let us know what you thought about this. Was it great seeing the Kobayashi Maru finally on screen? And what do you think of the 4 that we had presented here? Which one is your favorite? We love those kind of discussions. That's what we do. And we love doing those live with you at times as well. So comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon, and then, as a result, you'll be able to join us for the lives where we have such discussions and you can tell us in real time what you're thinking instead of commenting.
And, well, in those lives, you can super chat those comments. And those that we we don't have to, but we always read a super chat. That is a solemn promise to you guys, because you're helping us to keep the show going, which is good for the fans that want to watch the show, and then good for, you know, the comments that obviously you want to say it that strongly. And normally those opinions, those ideas are like, oh, that's a really good idea, or that's a thing I found, or it's really, really good for conversation, and it helps drive those things and push us forward into even more interesting ideas. And we've had so many revelations and things in our lives that just like we would never have those without such a distinct conversation, you know, and it's really fun. But also, you can support monthly via join the channel on YouTube, join button. Pretty straightforward. Or Patreon is monthly, or one-time donation at trekyards@hotmail.com. That's the PayPal. And buy shirts if you want.
So until next time, guys. Should I go with... Yeah, you're Commander Cockings. I'll do that.
And he's Captain Foley.
Okay, he did pass the test. All right, cool. Good. The Kobayashi Maru has
Oh
been
no, there's a new
successfully
bird of prey
completed.
decloaking outside. We can't win, Stuart. Ah!
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.